purposely threw it.
We welcome you into our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show.
Hi.
I am Ironhead. This big fella here to my right is the dear Goon.
Hi.
And lots to cover on this Thursday, heading into a pretty wild weekend of sports here.
I hope you're ready to get some questions, Ironhead.
On the local scene, there is, of course, the U.S. Olympic wrestling trials at the Bryce Jordan Center tomorrow and Saturday. The Penn State men's volleyball team is looking for the EIVA championship. Penn State will host Harvard tonight, and then we'll take on the winner of the George Mason Charleston match tonight on Saturday for the championship, 7 o'clock start for the EIVA finals on Saturday night. Congratulations, by the way. After we got off the air on Tuesday, Penn State baseball sets another attendance record, over 5,000. Lost the game to Kent State. That's a bummer. But more importantly, dear Goon, over 8,500 hot dogs were consumed on Dollar Dog Night at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. That is a job well done, dear fans.
A new record.
Shattered the record.
Also a new record.
Yes.
I haven't heard, we'll see Putnam, he does it more for the spikes. So I don't know if Put's doing the 1 inning for 9 innings, which he did last year.
I don't know about that.
9.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't know about that either.
I mean, it's not Joey Chestnut, but it's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, I got to this the other day with the Ole Miss Blue White. Their spring game was a bevy of different activities, and Joey Chestnut was down there. I don't know.
That's a little nuts.
I agree.
That is a good question. I don't know exactly what the arrangement is there as far as the concessions and what goes to the team, what stays at with Spikes or the Medler Field. That's a good question. I'm not. We can look into that.
Very
we know people.
Yeah, we know some people.
We can ask. That's a good question. I don't know.
It's funny that just got brought up. So. There was a thing on the NFL Network the other day. It was the Giants moving to New York versus the New York Giants versus the New Jersey Giants.
Yeah.
And they said until the late 60s, they were just guests of the New York Yankees. The Yankees got all the concession, all the parking, all the seats and all that, and the Giants weren't making any money that way. And it was really crazy to see, how they moved over to the Meadowlands, and there was that fight back and forth there. But that's before our time, so I don't really remember all that. But you could see where that would be an issue. But it's just funny that they were like the little brother to the Yankees. The Giants were in Yankee Stadium and all that, and then they moved away, and then the Yankees, and then the New York was like, you're not part of us anymore. And they won a couple Super Bowls, and then they're back being the New York Giants.
Yep.
But
in New Jersey.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool show. I did like it. I enjoyed it. I like watching that history stuff of the NFL and other sports and stuff. So, yeah, I would like to know that. That's a great question. How much is Penn State getting any of the concessions?
Yeah, I truly don't know what the arrangements
are charging to get into the games. I know that they're charging for parking.
Oh yeah, always.
As we all know.
Yep, that's a given.
I know how to get under Ironhead skin pretty quick.
Oh, I've resigned it is the bane of my existence, but I've accepted it. I've moved on as best I can.
The Eclipse? You moved on from the Eclipse parking?
Something like that.
From the Eclipse parking?
Something like that.
Yeah, I tell people that, and I'm like, it's pretty bad. Everything was free except for the parking. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Penguin season came to an end last night. 5-4. They lose to the Islanders, so I don't know what time was tea time this morning for the Flyers and the Penguins.
They met at Hershey.
Get together. Yeah, absolutely. Get out there. You could have had it out at Penn State Golf Course.
We could have met right in the middle.
Brutal.
I had all the Penguin fans were Flyer fans for one night and one night only.
Yeah.
And John Tortorella put the end of that run real quick.
See how well that worked out for us.
Yeah, it's done. I felt bad for him. Then the Mets showing up and really just.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe.
Not many teams.
Penn State football won last weekend.
Yeah, not many teams that I despise more than the Mets, and to have that be the
Same.
team that sweeps you here early in the season.
We have the Mets and the
I would have
Cowboys
been
in
much
common.
better. Yeah, I would have been much better with anybody, just about anybody else, being the first team
So,
to
honestly, I
sweep
do
the
wanna talk
beloved
about
Bucks this season.
What is the difference, or you think that they're doing the same thing they've done the last few years? And that's like start off a little bit hot, but then, it's like baseball. What's going to happen is that pitching is going to wear down and wear out, and they're going to start getting. But they're putting runs on the board. They have a good offense.
Yeah, it's. We'll see. Any grand pronouncements, actually, with any team at this stage of the season, is certainly premature.
Sure.
I think this will be an okay Pirates team. I do think they've got good chemistry. I do think they have some budding stars. I think that they are ways off from being a legitimate contender right now.
But I mean, they're
it'll
better
be a
than
fun.
74.5 wins is what they were saying.
We'll see.
Right? You think? No.
We'll see. We'll see. It is a long season. We'll see how things play out.
And I ask you often about the Penguins, and they're going to blow it up. But my question is, I'm sorry, I did finish.
Go ahead.
But McCutcheon.
Yep.
You think it's time to wrap it up? Because I'm hiring that dude to work in the front office or in the booth or in the hitting or as an assistant manager.
Have him
type
around
of
the
thing.
organization.
Someone around
sure.
the organization.
Yeah, I would think that would be the hope.
Yeah.
And the goal. And yeah, I mean, we're definitely certainly nearing the end. If it's not this season, I would think the following would be it. But
he's on my list.
It could very well be. Yeah.
And it's ahead.
What's
it's
the
the
list?
Goon and Ironhead list that I want to talk about one day sometime. But guys that actually have played in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh are beloved in both. Not beloved, but respected.
Yeah.
McCutcheon is not beloved in Philadelphia, but he's damn respected in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You go a long way. I mean, Rick Tocchet is the ultimate Philadelphia Flyer who played for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but he's a Flyer through and through.
Yeah.
Mark Recchi.
Yeah.
Teek Ticovey. Bob Walk. There's a long list of guys who.
Ticovey was a pretty special.
Absolutely,
special
he was.
Dude,
I mean, I remember him.
We loved imitating him in our
Absolutely,
neighborhood.
with the wiffle
everybody.
ball.
Oh my gosh. Everybody. I think today. Okay.
Yep. And we used to fake with the we used to draw the little stickers. I mean,
we're
in Philadelphia and we're drawing stickers of the saves and the home runs and the stars that he used to put on his bill.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Oh, that is a hell of an episode right there.
Yeah.
You just sit there and say that there's Booch coming back. It's 16th time. Very light. Okay, Booch, give me some Pittsburgh, Philadelphia sports people. I got Tocchet, Recchi, Kjell Samuelson.
Yeah.
Ken Reggett. I mean, Ron Hextall did wonders for you as your GM. So I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Yager is another one. There are people in Philadelphia who love Yager, not as much as Pittsburgh people love Yager.
Yeah.
Levon Kirkland is another one.
Oh yeah.
The left tackle, the Marine guy or the airborne, Andre Villanueva.
Oh yeah.
He came in. He never really played for the Eagles, but they're the ones who said, "Why don't you try playing left tackle here, Andres?" But it's some good Bobby Brister, right?
I don't know that Bubby would be beloved.
I'm not saying beloved, but I'm saying
in either city.
He transcended the state. Huh? Deuce?
He transcended something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dickie Thon, did he play for Pittsburgh, or am I wrong here?
You
had Chico leaned. There was a thing the other day about the Pirates. There was a rain delay of the Pirates or something. It was on their network, and I was watching it. I loved those, like Bonilla, Bonds, Van Slyke. They were good teams.
Oh, Van Slyke remains.
But that's not even your heyday.
No, but Van Slyke was.
The way he is loved in Pittsburgh, was he a Pittsburgh area guy?
Van Slyke?
Yeah.
No.
So he just became. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he was just he hustled. Bonilla was while he was there, it was loved. And Bonds was, you loved the talent, just maybe not the arrogance that came with it right from the outset. But those were good days.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because Van Slyke played for the Phillies too.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah.
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 There's a good little list of those guys who played for both.
He was a fun one. Couple of other things this weekend, just on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox here locally. First of all, we will have live coverage tomorrow of the U.S. Olympic trials. Now, the agreement is that we do not stream the coverage. So if you go to the website where you normally can get all of our programming at 987thefox.com, it's just going to be dead air during the wrestling coverage tomorrow. And that is per the agreement with NBC Sports, which we are more than happy to abide by. And makes a lot of sense. Peacock is streaming the Olympic trials, and obviously they want the streaming audience to go to Peacock, and they don't want something streamed for free. So it makes a ton of sense, and that certainly is understandable.
Is the head on the call?
So, yeah, Clay Stedman and I will be doing the coverage tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we made a commitment and are excited about it and are certainly happy that we're honoring it. But we will be covering the Center County Hardball Classic up at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. So
it's a great idea. Love it.
9 a.m. Bellefonte and Bald Eagle area. A couple of local baseball teams,
state
if
champions.
You're listening on the stream, that, yes, both won state titles last year. Du Bois Central Catholic, which won, I think was in the state title game last year. And State College, which obviously has a terrific baseball tradition and history, playing at 12 noon. The losers of the two games will meet at 3 o'clock in the consolation game, and then the winners will meet at 6 o'clock for the Center County Hardball Classic Championship. All of that action will be at Medler Field at Lebrano Park on Saturday. We'll have live coverage of all four games on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox with Todd and Norm Brown. Now, we will have updates. I'll be providing updates during that baseball coverage from the Bryce Jordan Center and the wrestling. And we're seeing if we can work out getting the coverage of the end of the wrestling. That final baseball game should end in the 8:15 area. We're being told by USA Wrestling that probably 9:30 to 10 is when the wrestling will end. So we're working to get, that maybe final hour and a half, which could involve obviously several Nittany Lion Wrestling Club members and former Penn State wrestlers going for spots on the Olympic team. So we're seeing if we can get that worked out for our coverage on Saturday night. We'll keep you posted on that. A lot of moving parts with that. We also have, and can't give you really details now, but a lot of things are in the works here with the radio station here in the State College area and Center County. There's going to be a bunch of, I think, really exciting and really positive announcements coming out in the coming months as, again, we'll be hitting the year anniversary of going on the air in August. And we've said from day one, we kind of wanted to use this first year for some, I guess, balance and trying to get things stabilized and be in a really good position at the 1 year mark. I think we are in very good position to do that and really launch into the second year with some really cool, innovative ideas and much more strength, I guess, behind us in terms of both our signal and coverage area, our visibility in the community. There's a lot of things, and again, we'll be talking much more about this in the coming weeks, but a lot of things that I think are going to be very beneficial for the listeners and the community at large. And obviously, we're hoping for our station as well. So stay tuned for that here in the coming months. But I'm very excited about the weekend here of wrestling and baseball locally on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
Tell me when you want to get into it.
Go ahead.
Here we go. 6 weight classes.
Yeah, not
It's amazing how much. I mean, that's what I have to ask you right off the gate.
Not good that the IOC forces that. Yeah, go ahead.
I've been using that all weekend, by the way.
Yeah.
You had me told me to talk about it the other day, and I was like, man, that's amazing to think about, the ballroom dancing and the flag football and all this and all that. Because they're Olympic type of sports, Jeff. Don't kid yourself, man. So, do you want to go through the brackets? You want to go? I mean, I do have to say this. Do you think you will ever be able to broadcast or watch live the amount of talent's going to be here on this coming Saturday? And I know I'm new to the sport. I am, but you can't tell me that there was this much talent 4 years ago there. Or was it there 4 years ago?
No, I don't think to this degree.
I mean, this is, I know we're obviously Penn State centrics with our show. So we're looking at all the Penn State guys and all the Lion Wrestling Club guys that are involved. So it's like, it's got to be, I mean, it's got to be unreal. I mean, you're a wrestling aficionado. Are you like through the moon right now, like jacked up to watch this?
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be an exciting and fun weekend, and obviously very heavy dose of Penn State and Nittany Lion Wrestling Club members that'll be competing for a spot on the team in Paris, and we'll see how it all plays out. But I think the wrestlers are obviously excited about it, and I think the fans are very excited about it. I think it's just going to be a good couple of days to really celebrate the sport and what it means here in Pennsylvania and at Penn State in particular.
Before we get into all the nuts and bolts of what's going to happen in the different weight classes, we'll get to that. What, as I'm a newbie, this is actually literally my first Olympic trials to watch. What will I see different Saturday that I would not see at Nationals? I mean, I was told there's just so much more wrestling. And then it's just guys are just getting running in and out, and women, women too. There's just so much action out there. Like, is it similar with the six? With the one weight class, have all the wrestlers out there on the mats?
Well, no. So they'll have freestyle, Greco-Roman, and women's wrestling going on. I think they have 4 mats laid out on the floor of the Jordan Center. So, some of the weight classes, you don't have as many wrestlers as others. And so
why?
Some of them some had more qualify than others.
Okay.
And so you'll see, some weight classes, I'll have to I'm not even sure what the total numbers are, but some weight classes will have like maybe 12 wrestlers. Others will have maybe 7 or 8. So the 2 weights that I think are going to draw the most interest, certainly locally and probably nationally as well, are 74 and 86 kilos. At 74, first of all, you have a lot of recognizable faces to college wrestling fans and certainly to Penn State wrestling fans. You have Kyle Dake, who's into the best of 3 championship finals. And then you have Jordan Burroughs, who's one of the all-time legends of the sport.
Correct.
For the United States as the 1 seed in the challenge tournament. You have Jason Nolf, who is the number 2 seed in the challenge tournament. And obviously Jason is having a terrific career, but trying to get that breakthrough weekend here in terms of international freestyle wrestling. Then you have the 3 seed is Keegan O'Toole, who is out with the injury. You have Quincy Monday, who's a very familiar face and name for college wrestling fans. You have Mitchell Messenbrink as the 5 seed, and Messenbrink has just had some kind of a year. You go back to last summer and his, winning a world championship, then bursting onto the college scene, finishing as the NCAA runner-up at 165, and now, again, as the 5 seed here. It'll be interesting to see what kind of noise he makes in an absolutely loaded weight class, and obviously Kyle Dake has been close to unbeatable here. Excuse me, from the U.S. side of things for several years. Meyer Shapiro, excuse me, is the 6th seed there. Vincenzo Joseph, 2-time national champ at Penn State, is the 7th seed. Alex Marinelli, the bull who had that series with Joseph, is the 8th seed. Alex Facundo, current Penn State wrestler, is the 9th seed. And, Levi Haynes is sitting there as the 10th seed, the national champion for Penn State. Then Tyler Berger is the 11th seed. Jarrett Jaquez is the 12th seed. And then you have Ladarian Lockett there at 13. It is just kind of a who's who there in that weight class. And then what did he?
Hold on. Let's go back. So Dake and David and Schneider, I did see. So they don't wrestle anybody
until Saturday night.
Until Saturday night, and it's the best of 3 falls. Not 3 falls, best of 3 matches.
Yep.
That's hardcore.
Oh, yeah. And then at 86 kilos, you'll have, obviously, David Taylor in the championship finals. Cool. You have Zahid Valencia is in the challenge tournament finals. So he's into, the step before you would get to David Taylor already. And then you have Aaron Brooks as your 1. Chance in the challenge tournament. Brooks is your 1 seed. Marsteller is your 2 seed. These are pre-seeds. Everything will be finalized tomorrow morning. But Marsteller is 2. Trent Hidley as your 3. Alex Derringer as your 4. Mark Hall, former Nittany Lion great, number 5. You have Carter Starachi, and this tells you all you need to know about the weight class. Starachi is rightfully your 6th seed. Well, if Starachi is a 6th seed in any weight class of any tournament, you got a pretty good field. Max Dean, who, of course, was the transfer from Cornell, won a national title at Penn State, is the 7th seed. You have David McFadden as your 8th seed. Connor Mirasola, who is coming into Penn State, will be an incoming freshman as your 9th seed, and I think could make some noise there as well. Evan Wick is your 10 seed, and Patrick Downey will face Carter Starachi in the first round and is your 11 seed. So, from David Taylor all the way down to Downey, that's
a savage,
a really exciting weight class to see. Any of those matchups, I think fans would pay to see and have the opportunity to watch those guys go at it.
I hope you like dealing with a 7-year-old when it comes to it's like dealing with the wild mad turtle over here dealing with me. So, has in history with the 3 series at the end, like David's, everybody's got to play, everybody's got to wrestle him. Yeah. Is there a lot of turnover in Olympic wrestling, or is that why they try to do it like that? David's earned that right. He is
correct.
Yeah. So as the former champion, or has he done other stuff since?
World champion. Yep. So he gets in as a result of that. And there's a good bit of turnover. Obviously, college kids are coming out each year and challenging. And we're seeing more and more high school kids get the opportunity. We have Luke Lillidahl and Connor Mirasola, a couple of incoming freshmen for Penn State that'll be in this particular field. And it is, wrestling has changed probably, I'm trying to think, it's probably been about 10 to 15 years now, maybe even a little longer than that, where the number of guys that are coming out college ready from high school, in other words, that they are ready to go right away as freshmen and compete at a high level with the rest of the college guys. That is very common now. That used to be almost unheard of. And it's just the training these guys are getting, the exposure to competition and the opportunities. And they're just coming out, again, more skilled, in better condition, all of those things.
You're talking about high school kids to college, or college to the...
Correct. Both. And then that obviously translates to the freestyle circuit as well, when you have kids that are coming out that well prepared and that well trained. So It's going to be a fun couple of days.
How many
There's no
natties
doubt.
are in that weight division?
Oh,
It's
a ton.
insane.
Yeah, a ton.
Oh man. So there's 6 Greco, and then there's 6 wrestlers Greco, 6 freestyle, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then 6 women.
Do we have anybody doing
Women will be freestyle wrestling.
again, I'm full of the dumb questions today, but are there combos? Some guy who does Greco and anybody
no,
like
I
that?
think there could. I mean, no, there's not. I mean, there could be. But boy, that'd be very challenging. Obviously, for whatever reason, I think. And if somebody wants to correct me, maybe I'm certainly in this country, freestyle is much more popular than Greco. But I think worldwide, the freestyle is kind of the glamour sport in wrestling compared to Greco-Roman. I find Greco-Roman tough to watch, where you're not using your legs. It's just such a different style. It's just wrestling where you don't use your legs. So the throws, I mean, Greco fans will tell you, no, it's better because it's more fun. You're watching guys get thrown around. I don't find it as appealing. I don't think it's as aesthetically appealing as folk style, which I still think is the best, or freestyle, which I think is, my opinion, heads and shoulders better than Greco-Roman in terms of just a sport that you can watch and enjoy and appreciate. It's not that, Greco-Roman is obviously grueling, very tough, and requires.
You mean no legs? You don't go down on your leg. You don't use your legs. You're
correct. It's all upper body.
When you say throw,
types.
What do you explain to me? A throw over top,
You're
like a judo, over top my leg type of thing. Were we talking like suplexes and power bombing, or?
Yeah. All upper body throws.
Now, when does somebody say, "Hey, you might want to go into that Greco-Roman"?
Oh, there's a lot of kids decided at a pretty early age.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that they want to pursue. Now you have a lot of kids that are successful in Greco-Roman that do wrestle folk style as well, and there are certainly wrestlers that will compete in all 3: folk style, freestyle,
there's
and
a third one.
Greco-Roman.
Folk style is not freestyle.
Correct. Folk style is what we would, high school and college wrestling here in the U.S.
Oh, so there's a difference in what seriously freestyle and what we saw at the Nationals is different.
Oh yeah. The mat wrestling especially is
For real?
Oh yeah. Freestyle, you're trying to. You only have. It's a short period of time, and you got to try to turn your guy, or you get returned to your feet.
What are we watching this weekend?
Freestyle.
Okay.
Greco and freestyle.
Okay.
The freestyle is what's getting the interest. That's what's going to draw the fans to the BJC. We'll take a break here. We'll talk some college football and just what I think is going to be an interesting season in a lot of different ways. And I do think you're going to hear in the next month or two some sort of a resolution, and this is how it's going to be moving forward when it comes to the revenue sharing plan that is being devised by college football conferences, but really by the SEC and the Big Ten. We'll kick that around a little bit as we continue our Thursday edition. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show, and we are coming to you live from Quaker Steak and Lube. It is our home away from home. We are here on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5, except for next Thursday, when we'll both be in Florida. The dear Booch will be filling in for us then. And we are coming right back.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Your hands, busboy. Your wings suck. I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we're walking back in here on this Thursday afternoon. It's the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Great place to come on down, watch some baseball, watch some NHL playoff hockey for those that have NHL playoff teams.
We're going to see if you're a real NHL fan if you start watching when your team's not even remotely involved.
Dear Mad Turtle was involved with a class project for film students at Penn State yesterday. So he's featured in the one film. They didn't get to that part yet. We didn't have to do that part yet. But they had 4 students that were working on this project yesterday, and at least 2 of them are pretty diehard hockey fans. One a Capitals fan, which was killing me. And the other a Rangers fan, which might actually kill me even more. So we're having some fun talking hockey and
I gotta know how
was
Tuesday afternoon turned out at the water park.
Hockey playoffs. Oh, it was a scene. Yeah, we had
the whole neighborhood was there,
and a couple of visiting neighborhoods, as it turned out. Yeah, it was a good time. It was.
I'm telling you,
they'll
talk about that 20 years from now. You know, that's the best stuff.
And one thing, going back to the Penguins real quick, for sure. Jeff Carter, of course, announced his retirement after a 19-year
another Flyer
NHL career, and that is one that I think would if not beloved, certainly very well respected at the very least by both organizations. And the cool thing about it wasn't quite the storybook ending, because the storybook ending would have been the goal that wins the game, but he got the goal that tied the game before the Penguins ultimately lost it. But he does score the final goal of the season for the Penguins, and of course that was the final goal then of his NHL career.
Very nice
it was interesting. They were talking about it a little bit on the Penguins broadcast, and I hadn't really thought about it, but they're like, it's kind of a borderline Hall of Fame career that Carter put together. I don't think. I mean, it is a real. Some of the numbers I will say I didn't realize just how good he is.
It's funny.
I don't think he's going to get in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think enough All-Stars.
But he is,
I don't think he has enough All-Stars. That's what they look at sometimes.
Yeah, he is. And it's one of the,
got everything else.
He was really good for a really long period of time. Yeah. And it's actually more debatable than I thought it was. I think everybody respects him, and nobody thinks he's a bum, but there's a lot of room between bum and Hall of Famer, and I don't know that he's quite there with his career, but it was a great career for sure.
If it's an NHL, see, it's a Hockey Hall of Fame.
It's Hockey Hall of Fame.
So him winning gold in the Olympics once or twice, the Canadian Cup. He won a Calder Trophy with the Philadelphia Phantom, so he's done.
Yeah,
I think he only had like 4 or 5 All-Stars. He didn't have like the 15 All-Stars, and he's been playing since I believe 2005 or 6. I mean, he's been around a bit.
Yeah, I think 2005 is when he.
That's a heck of a damn career. So he's running literally neck and neck with Ovechkin and Sidney. If you think about when he was with the Flyers, I mean, they were playing those. I mean, that was some serious talent at those young ages.
No question.
Oh man, geez. And I loved Carter, and I loved Richards, and how it ended in Philadelphia was just bad.
Yeah.
There's no reason to get into that, but it is what it is. But he left there. He went to Columbus for a hot second.
Yeah.
Then he got traded out to L.A., which is where Mikey Richards was, and they both won that cup with the Kings.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, you're right. That's a hell of a question, Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's more of a debate. I just hadn't thought of them in those terms. I mean, it's not like I sit around and think a lot about the Hockey Hall of Fame, but they were mentioning last night. It's like, he really is. It's a borderline Hall of Fame career that he put together. So we'll see. I would not have any problem with him going in. I think it's.
Was he ever on?
I think it's more unlikely than likely, but
who was he matched up with? Was he Ovechkin or no? With Sid or
Malkin? Last night they put him with on the. So although many folks were kind of presuming that this was going to be his last year, I don't think he ever announced it. Now, he announced right after the game last night, yes, I am hanging up. It was, I think, expected, even throughout the hockey community. I don't know when I'm presuming that he made the announcement to his teammates of the organization prior to last night. But as the game wore on last night, it was very apparent. Again, most of us were presuming this would be his last game.
Some stuff for him.
Then you saw some of the interactions with the players, and certainly after he scored that goal to tie the game, it's like, oh yeah, this is because the Penguins on the broadcast they kept talking about, this could. We're expecting that this could be his last game. So words to that effect, and it's like. Yeah, it was his last game. So, anyways,
that's a very good question.
It was cool despite the loss.
Hall of Fame
that he was able to go out there and get the final goal of the season for the Penguins in that game. Let's talk some college football, dear Goon. When more big picture stuff here with what I think is the inevitable announcement that is coming regarding revenue sharing. Now, exactly what the announcement is and how this pie is going to get divvied up is, of course, critical and very much unknown. I suspect at the moment still unknown by even the powers that be. And we've talked about it, but there was just so much to sort through there, Goon, that while I think they want to get this done quickly, like as quickly as possible, I think they know they've got to cross all of the T's, dot all of the I's, run this by all of the lawyers, and get some kind of a feel from the players too. And I would be curious to know how they're going about that part of the process. To what degree and with
for the players?
Yes, are they involving in those discussions that, hey, if we throw out this number or this percentage, does that seem like it would be something that would appease you? And the issue, not the issue, one of the issues still is, to me, Goon, how this gets situated within the bigger picture of intercollegiate athletics. And I think that is still a monumental element that is unknown in this, because however that is or isn't factored in is in one way or another going to completely change the landscape of intercollegiate athletics moving forward. And I've read there are compelling arguments with a bunch of different parts of this, but there are compelling arguments about why, and I think most are believing, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but it seems like most that are really covering this and that are involved at the conference level believe that, yes, there is going to be some component here where, whether it's set up as a nonprofit on behalf of the NCAA Division I football power schools or something along those lines, but it does sound like there is going to be some sort of an arrangement set up where, yes, some money is going to be funneled. Now, again, is it a percentage of the money? Is it just a set amount? And then how does that money, whatever it is, get divvied up among those Olympic or non-revenue sports? And does this end as I believe it will, although I'm listening to some compelling arguments saying, nope, it won't, with the collective, the collectives on the college campuses and the NIL money that is being raised for the athletic department, even though the athletic department has nothing to do with it, in case that's what you were thinking. What a mess this all is. Yeah. But they have to unpack it, and they have to do it in fairly short order.
I think you need to go what you said from the start is who is speaking for the players. So, I mean, we're to the point now.
Well, and they have to get some feel for it, right? Like, you can't just throw something out there and then have the players say, no, there's no way we're involved. So there has to be, again, I don't know how they do it, but there has to be some kind of communication going on.
Personal opinion on this whole thing is that I really do think that the players need to be rep by professional sports agents. Okay, and that's not your dad's uncle who, you call uncle, but it's your dad's best friend type of guy, or your buddy who's 2 years older than you and your buddy from back home. That you need a professional guy, because you would know as well as I do when the NFL, before the agents had to be certified by the NFL Players Association, anybody could be agent, anybody could be a financial advisor for these people, for these players, and they were completely taken advantage of. You hear nothing but bad stories. So we got to put the cart before the horse, in my opinion. I think we need to have professional representation for the players, and then we go from there. I mean, I really, truly think that that if you want to rep an NFL football player, you must pass exams that are set forward by the NFL and the NFL Players Association. Whereas I think that really needs to be done for college. If we're talking about protecting these athletes, which is ultimately what we're trying to do. I mean, this is the ultimate, what we want to do is so have professional representation. That's the first step, in my opinion, get these people certified and then get them signed up with players and athletes. And then deal with them on voting who is, do you have a board? Yeah, we can talk about this for the next 2 hours if you want. Is there a board on your team of 6 guys who are there, who speak for the team, who listen to the team, and then they go out and talk to the conferences, and the conferences go out and talk to the whole? I mean, it's just every step you take, do you take every 1 step forward, 2 steps back? Is that what we're doing here? But the bottom line is we want to protect these athletes and these kids because, I mean, if NFL players were being taken advantage of in the 60s, 70s, and the early 80s, a 17 to 21-year-old kid in college is definitely going to get taken advantage of. So if we're talking about protecting these kids, let's get that set up first. And then we'll talk about the conference realignment. You know what I mean? There's just so much that needs to be done. I mean, is that our society where everything's got to be done right now? It's like, we got to figure this out right now. No, we don't. Let's do it right so we're not sitting here. But in classic NCAA form, what do you think is going to happen?
Well,
not that.
But they've got to get something. I hear you and I agree with you, but they also do have to get something in place quickly because if not, the lawsuits are coming. Players are not going to accept not getting, however we're going to define this, their fair share of the money that is being brought in with these TV contracts, with the bowl agreements, et cetera, et cetera. And how that gets organized and whether or not the powers that be, the conference commissioners, the athletic directors, the head coaches, are in agreement that, yes, this seems fair, and the players say, yep, this seems fair to all involved. And I think it's going to be more difficult than many are even predicting, and very few are predicting that this is just going to go smoothly and swimmingly. But
hey, you just said 3 things, and I had 6 questions. Boom, boom.
Well, yes. And so, again, I've been reading more and more. There's a lot of different thoughts on how this should go and all of the different things that are involved. And one of them, to go to your point about protecting the players. So the health component is a big deal. And the medical insurance and the trainers and the team doctors that are provided now are not cheap. that stuff does not come cheaply to the universities or the athletic departments. And so part of this, I think, but you still have players, even at the collegiate level, who are, even those that don't go on and play in the NFL, there are players who are having significant health issues as a result of playing football. Now, how you divvy that up between high school, college, etc., that becomes another element here, and that's what the one piece I read. They are convinced that eventually this is, well, and I guess to some degree we've already seen it. The NIL stuff has already started at the high school level. Yeah. But the lawsuits or the, hey, you've got to cover me for future health issues as a result of the concussions I suffered while playing football for your high school while I was in high school, and I suffered those 3 concussions, and now I have headaches that are chronic. how some of this stuff gets resolved
You
is
wavering
going
that,
to be,
man. Sorry.
man, it's going to be.
No, I mean, I deal with
a
it.
mess.
You're literally talking about me. You know, are there things that, like my older brother who played in the NFL and blew his knee out 3 different times? You know, he talks and complains. You know, he's friends with Steve Entman, and he talk all the time. They're like, all we want is health insurance. That's all we want is like these older players just want health insurance. You know, something as simple as that is just having the insurance, not paying.
Yeah,
not paying for the disability or if you are disabled in college, like the brain injuries and stuff like that. I can see where that can go forward, but like having the health insurance that these guys, my brother can have his knee replaced type of thing, where it's not coming out of his pocket because he doesn't have to work. He's 60 years old right now. He just retired, but he doesn't have health insurance. So that's where he's at. And he's like, I need to have health insurance because I have a lot of these injuries that they're going to need taken care of in the next 10 to 15 years. You know, is that where there's a universal, health insurance type of thing for college football players? But then you're going to say, well, you got a concussion in high school or you hurt your shoulder in high school, Keith. How can you say that was Penn State's fault? Why is the NCAA paying for that? You hurt your neck when you were at the Colts. Why are, it'll never get resolved because it'll always be the lawyers will, blame other people, blame the other this and that. I mean, I played basketball. I tore my, ankle up. It gives me problems when I'm 60 years old. You did that playing basketball or football at LaSalle? Did you do it at Penn State? Did you do it at Indianapolis Colts in Canada? You can't do it. But it just goes back to having the insurance available. I think that if guys do need it, but then guys will end up, and that's the problem. The guys will end up expecting it, and if it's not there, then that's the problem. And some people will exploit it. It's again, every step you take forward, you could take 3 back because you're going to be like, there's going to be 8 questions involved. Will this be perfect to start off with? Absolutely not, in my opinion. Especially with the NCAA, people making decisions. Are they going to be involved, or is it going to be the Big Ten, SEC powers that be that want to form these new conferences? Are they making these decisions? Who is carrying the health insurance? Because every state's different. Who has workers' comp insurance? It's crazy. I mean, that we're talking about all of this, and it needs to be talked about. And that's the problem. It hasn't been talked about in 25 years when it's been an issue for 20-some plus years. And you don't talk about it, this is what's going to happen in the end. It explodes on you.
And explode it has. That is.
Yeah, and then you're going to say, well, is David Taylor have the same? I mean, David Taylor is a 4-time All-American at Penn State. Yeah, but I mean, he didn't play a sport that made a lot of money versus a guy who played backup left tackle at Penn State. Does he have more insurance than David? Is he, you know what I mean? That's where we're going to be. And it's just like, well, a lot of hard decisions are going to be needed to be made very, very soon. And you want the right people involved in that. And I go right back to what you said earlier. Who are you talking to when you're talking about the players? Who is representing the players? The NCAA? Are they going to have sports agents? And, every school's got to get somebody, I think, that they need to appoint as the player representation. But they have to be a licensed a lawyer, in my opinion, who people have trust in. And some people may even do it as an NIL donation. Again, I'm just throwing this all out there. There's enough people who, former Penn State wrestlers who were lawyers who would say, you know what, yeah, I'll represent the Penn State wrestlers when it comes to the bargaining table. No charge. Here's my NIL donation.
There you go.
Who knows, man? There's so much. We can talk about this the next 16 weeks if we really want. We should have a talk show, Jeff.
It would be nice. I think that.
I just noticed this, by the way, and just completely off topic. But if you notice that Penn State or the Big Ten Network's now covering Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC, that just seems to be weird up there that they're talking to the Washington head coach because now they're in the league now, full time. Here we go. Sorry.
No, it is. It's a whole different world, and I'm still getting my head around the Big Ten being out on the West Coast. That's just such a. I mean, Penn State was obviously a seismic shift in the footprint and the kind of thought of what the scope of the Big Ten was. And certainly, Nebraska, Rutgers, all of that has expanded it. But this is like a whole different world where you're going all the way now coast to coast with one conference.
I believe that Penn State, that was my era. We changed the game a little bit. Then everybody started stopping. Would this have been easier to do all this stuff if we were all still independent? Maybe, who knows? But everybody's getting their own money and TV deals, so I don't know. But Penn State joining the Big Ten really, really expanded the Big Ten, in my opinion. If you think about it, Archie Griffin, 68-69 was the last undefeated Big Ten team before we joined and went undefeated in our second season there. Or we were the first one to play for titles type of thing, because it was like the Big Ten was still of the ilk, like, hey, we just play for the Big Ten title. Yeah. They all had that, like Bo Schembechler, we're playing for the Big Ten title. No, you're playing for national titles. And I think we bought that to the Big Ten. We bought that attitude to the Big Ten. We gave them, this is how you do it. This is the game plan of how exactly you go about winning national titles, and that is, then we joined the conference and we struggled a little bit, early we were good, but then 8-10 years and we had to change our ways a little bit.
And as a reward for showing them how to do it, they said, "Here, you won't win the national title thanks to us."
Yes, but we'll split Nebraska's and Michigan, but we won't do Penn State's.
There you go.
Tons of these things.
Thanks, Big Ten.
Yeah, appreciate that, fellas. But there was definitely a jealousy, and that's going to happen there with UCLA, USC, Washington, Oregon coming in. It's great. It brings fresh life into the system, but it's like, the travel, my goodness gracious, man. You'd have that once a year. Now you got to do it twice. But again, we always go back to this. Football is easy. You play one day a week. It's easy. Basketball, you're playing 3 days. You're going to get back on a Tuesday night from the West Coast trip, and then you got to play Thursday night. Come on, man. That's a tough little haul right there. You're playing basketball, you're playing, I guess they don't have field hockey, but cross country, swimming, track. All our teams are going to go out there and compete in the West Coast. Nuts to really think about all this. None of them wrestle, right?
Correct. Right now, none of the four do. And I did talk to some, at least at the moment, there does not seem to be any movement, any inclination at all from any of the four administrations
want to pick it up
to add wrestling.
And why did Arizona have it? Did Arizona add it within the last 10 years, or they just never went away?
I don't think Arizona ever had it.
Arizona State, sorry.
Oh, Arizona State's had it for
and they were competitive for all those years and all that stuff?
Well, they won a national title. They were the first to break the Iowa stranglehold in the 80s. And in fact, that was Cale's coach that ended up
I remember
at Iowa State, but Bobby Douglas did amazing things with
Cale loves that man.
Arizona State.
Pretty cool.
So Arizona State has a terrific history and tradition of
I thought that they were one of those that just picked it back up because I didn't know. Because when did the Pac-12 drop it?
Oh,
well, did they ever compete as a conference?
Yeah, they still have. There is still a Pac-12 wrestling conference. It's just a lot of.
I guess you're right. There is
non-football Pac-12 schools that are in it.
Okay,
like Cal State Bakersfield, but they.
I think of ASU because of one guy, and you mentioned him earlier in the show. Zaid.
Yeah.
Dude. He can give David some trouble.
He could. I think Aaron Brooks is going to give him some trouble. That's about that if it happens, and I think it will.
Oh my!
I'm really looking forward to, because I think Aaron. That'll be a really good bout. I'll put it that way.
That's amazing.
I think that'll be. Excuse me. I think that'll be one that if you're watching, you're not going to want to turn away from.
When's the last time Aaron Brooks lost?
Well, last season, collegiately.
Early.
And internationally this past summer.
Okay.
To David Taylor.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Let's
Let's
keep on getting back to wrestling. And I apologize, but I'm just I'm so jacked up for this, man. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, again, I'm new to it the last 10 years. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. Of course, I do every 15 times a show. But just the names that you were throwing out there, I'm like, holy crap, man. Like, these are like the top guys, like the last like 6 tournaments, and these guys are all in the same division. And it's going to be absolute mayhem. And David is that far ahead of all of them.
Wow. I mean, I think that's the case. We're find out, I suppose, this weekend.
Amazing, man.
But
absolutely amazing.
David has certainly, in recent years, separated himself from the field. Now, it's wrestling. You need that. You need to be on that one day. You know, how much has an Aaron Brooks or Zahid Valencia closed the gap? Have they closed the gap? That's, again, what we're going to find out this weekend. And I think regardless of what happens, the U.S. will be very well represented in Paris. Whoever gets through these weight classes and emerges as the representative for the U.S. will have earned it and will be somebody that is ready to go compete for a medal at the very least. And obviously, U.S. is hoping for.
We're going to talk more in the next hour, or should I ask you your predictions now?
I'm not sure I have a lot of predictions for this week.
Paris going to win in Paris?
Some great matchups. He very well could. I think there's a lot of good competition there, and I'm really excited to see what Greg Kirkfleet can do there. I think his game translate. I know he's inexperienced here compared to Zillner, or certainly to Mason Paris right now on the international stage, or a Nick Wisdowski. But I think Greg's game translates so well to freestyle, and I think his confidence is just at a different level. And sometimes when you haven't been in the grind of this at the international level, it can be a benefit. I mean, we've seen some college kids go on runs here just because, again, you're in that you're kind of in the zone coming off of a national title. It's why, like a Levi Haynes, I don't think Levi's going to win his weight class, but I think he goes in as the 10 seed. I think he could really make some noise here. I think certainly, an Aaron Brooks or Greg Kirkfleet could surprise folks this weekend. And again, I think part of it is just that you're in that rhythm of the college season, and you're coming off the confidence of winning that national title. I just think it gets you in that right frame of mind, and you have a little more time then to prepare, but not so much that I think you lose that momentum or the vibe that you had at the end of March. So we'll see. I do think this is going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of matches where it is going to be an official's call. It's going to be one move, one way or another that decides this thing. And it's going to be, hey, it went to that guy today when it counted, but it could easily go the other way if they met again the next day. And I think there's a lot of matches that are going to be like that this weekend. You're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We are at Quaker Steak and Lube on this Thursday afternoon, and you are locked in on WFXS, Pleasant Gap State College. We're coming right back.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Your hands it, busboy. Your wings suck! I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome you back here on this Thursday afternoon. We're at Quaker Steak and Lube, the place to be as we get ready for NHL. And I guess some folks are excited about the NBA playoffs as well. And
the Sixers made it. Yes. The playing game last. That's great.
Good for them. They got that going. Rocket and roll.
Oh, Lordy. There's just absolutely zero interest for the NBA in our generation anymore. Now, you grew up like
well, I
liking
think it
it,
depends
right?
on where you're at.
I don't. My personal opinion, I have friends at home who they're just like me and you. It just doesn't register with them. And you're like me. You grew up loving the NBA.
I did. I mean, I loved, Dr. J was the
I was spoiled.
When I was a young kid, like it's like, wow, that's cool. And yeah, there was a period there where I was following the Sixers very closely.
The Magic Bird, and then you worked into the Jordan era type of thing. And then it's just gone just so bad. It's just an unwatchable product.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, but there's obviously a lot of people that would disagree and that love it passionately. I mean, the NBA is doing well for itself in the overall sports picture.
Yeah, take China.
Not something
China turns that little switch off, and they're not allowed NBA games to play in China. Yeah, the NBA can lose a lot of money real quick. What? We talking politics? No way.
A couple of other things just to throw onto the table here, and again, real quickly, this weekend. Here, if you are listening to us on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox, we will have live coverage tomorrow. We'll have both sessions in their entirety on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. On the radio only, our stream will be cut off. We won't have the stream going, and that'll be tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we'll have live coverage of the Center County Hardball Classic up at Medler Field at Lebrano Park, and we'll have live updates. Well, actually, I guess they'll be recorded, nearly live updates. You'll be getting them on the air probably within 5 minutes of when they're recorded, but we'll be doing drops from the Jordan Center throughout the course of the day on Saturday as the United States sets its Olympic wrestling team that will compete in Paris, France, and obviously a ton of Nittany Lion Wrestling Club members, a bunch of current, former, and future Nittany Lions who will be competing in the event tomorrow and Saturday up at the Bryce Jordan Center. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Philadelphia Phillies off to different starts this week. Phillies sweeping the Rockies, the Pirates getting swept by the Mets after the two teams split their weekend series last weekend in Philadelphia. And we'll see what happens. I like where the Pirates are. I like the way they're playing. I'm not sure where they ultimately fit in the big picture. I have my doubts about how strongly they can finish or how high they can place, but it's fun. It's exciting to see them being relevant.
You
and
could
we'll
see
go,
spending money going down and watching them.
We're going down to a couple of games
There
in
you go.
May, and now
3 years ago, you wouldn't have done that.
both of them we did because of my wife's foundation is why we're going down. So but yes, I mean, we'll go down undoubtedly at least one other time, a third time, some point this summer just to check them out. And my God, it is a nice ballpark. It is a beautiful setting.
I love that.
It is a really cool place to go watch baseball, as is Medler Field at Lebrano Park, and love the things they've been doing there. And looking forward to the Hardball Classic on Saturday. Again, there is just a lot going on the local sports front here this weekend. So hopefully you're able to get out and check out at least some of it between the high school sports, the Penn State sports, and the U.S. Olympic Wrestling trials. If you're a sports fan and you can't find anything to do, not to mention the Little League baseball season is underway. Matt Turtle makes his debut. We just had a change of field, different venue than what we were originally expecting because of field conditions, which can happen this time of the year. Oh, man, I'm telling you, I was walking just over to the Jordan Center today, and I'm walking along that little stretch of grass, kind of behind the Jordan Center, heading toward like the loading dock area. That grass down there, it's mud. It is just, I just stepped, and it wasn't.
Where I tailgate, that little
right by it. Yeah, it's like, holy smokes, is this just a mess? And it looks fine, and I took a couple steps on it, and it's like, oh, boy, I am really sinking down in it. So
it really makes you think, who was making those decisions back for the last 20 years when he used to have the sponsorship tent next to my tailgate? And it was there. And it would take one rain, and then it was swamp because it was never getting air. Now they put it up on top upstairs, and it's beautiful. It's overlooking everything.
Makes a lot of sense.
You have to say to yourself, who was making these decisions back in the day? But there's a nice little landing area right there. All the kids are going to my tailgate. They're playing football. Dogs are running, all that stuff. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Where were you? Did you walk around the tailgate last week?
A little bit, not as much as we were originally anticipating. I won't bore you with it, but we got tied up with some other things in the morning, so we didn't get up until later in the day. And by the time we got up there, we wanted to go to the carnival. We had a couple of kiddos with us, and so the Ferris wheel was not up because of the wind. Well, I presume because of the winds. I guess I never officially heard that, but I'm assuming that was it.
Kids are soft now.
They had, but they had the slide up, which our kiddos loved. They had what I call the teacups. I guess they're not the teacups. I don't know what, but where you spin around and then the thing goes around as well. But you can spin your individual. I always called it a teacup, but both of the kids said that those aren't what the teacups are. And I'm like, well, I think that is what they are, but I don't know. Anyways,
I'd say those carnival things that were stuff that you and I used to love to do when we were their age. If we did now, we'd be in traction.
So my kiddo loves cornbread, loves cornbread. Almost his go-to, it is one of the things that he craves. Yeah, just cornbread. So, and he loves hot dogs. So I'm like, kiddo, have you ever had a corn dog?
Oh,
And he's
Lord.
like, no. Now, I'm not sure if he has or he hasn't. That has caused another dispute. Apparently, maybe at one point he did, but he didn't remember it anyway. So we're up there, and they have the corn dog stand. I'm like, well, let's get some corn dogs. It's been a long time since I had one. I love them. So I got us each one after about a 40-minute wait.
Oh,
My gosh, the waits for the food stands were very, very long. And he gets about, so the first bite, he's like, oh, yeah, this is good. And then he gets about halfway through. It's like, actually, I don't like it. I'm like, what are you talking about? So now I don't know if it was a windy day. I think we were a little tired. It's hard to tell sometimes, but I'm like, there's no way you couldn't like it. It's a hot dog and it's fried cornbread. Like, how could you not love this? But so I got to eat another half of the corn dog. It worked out just fine for me. But
a little cold, but you got through it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Corn dogs.
Yeah.
For a kid that loves hot dogs
Yeah.
and cornbread,
I mean, you figure
how could you not love it?
You just saw the theory for him in your head. You're like, whoa, wait, cornbread and a hot dog.
While we're on
Wow.
it. While we're on it, what are the condiments? We got into this discussion on our morning show this week.
Go ahead.
What are the condiments you do? Like the perfect hot dog for you. What do you put in
Hot dog?
Yep.
Spicy brown mustard.
Good call there.
Raw onions.
Good call there.
And at times, depending on the hot dog, let me just get that straight. I am a Nathan's Hebrew National. I like the beef hot dogs.
Yep.
And I want to say this because you were talking about the Ned Turtle loving hot dogs. And I was like, so did Goon back in the day. But I cannot eat a non-beef hot dog now because I just overdid it when I was a little kid. Like, the dog. Yeah, whatever. But
I can understand that.
I'm not really a ketchup guy. I'm not a ketchup guy on my dogs.
I don't understand that.
I could be, but I'm not. I could be. But I'm a mustard, raw onion relish person. If there's chili, and then it's yellow mustard then. But I like the brown mustard to begin with. I'm a regular brown mustard guy. But if it's a little bit of chili, I can put ketchup on the chili too, but the yellow mustard. But ideally, my hot dog is raw onion, brown mustard.
That's a pretty good call. So I like the ketchup on my hot dog. Okay. I think the ketchup. I'm with you on. We didn't even get specific with the mustards, which we should have because that is a difference maker. I'm fine with the yellow mustard, no complaints. Yep. Perfectly happy with it. But yes, the spicy brown would be my number one. Any of the ground, any of the brown
radish,
yes. Yeah. So sign me up for any of that.
Oh.
I like the jalapenos on my hot dogs as well.
The big ones, or like the diced up,
like
stuff?
the diced. Well, either one actually. Actually, my preference actually would probably be the round, the
bigger round one.
Yeah,
okay.
But I'm happy either way with that. But yeah, ketchup, spicy brown mustard. I like that call. The onions and the jalapenos. That would probably be my perfect dog. Although if you had the chili on, I'm really good with that.
That's a beautiful thing. So let me ask you then.
Go ahead.
What's your hoagie?
Well,
mine depends on the meats.
So a little bit for me too. The Italian is my go-to because it's perfect. It's
a very
little bit of everything, and all good, and it has the kick to it.
You know where I'm going,
and I like everything. Give me the onions and the lettuce and the tomatoes and all of the sauces. I like. Pile that stuff on.
I want to know the sauces.
The oil and vinegar.
But then you do oil and vinegar, then you put mayo on it, or
no,
you hold off on the mayo.
I'm not a mayo
good.
guy.
I'm good.
I'm not a mayo.
I just
guy.
don't like mixing the oil and vinegar with the mayo. I just can't do it. I'll put mayo with my turkey and Swiss.
Yeah.
And then my ham and cheese is definitely mustard.
Yeah. So I do love turkey and Swiss. That would be the Italian is my favorite, but. If it's I'm with you on that. It depends on the meat, but if it's a good turkey and Swiss is
beautiful.
Pretty hard to beat. And there are days where I would probably prefer that even over the Italian.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're saying about a jalapeno pepper. So when I come up here, there's a difference in a lot of peppers that I grew up with and what you grew up with. I mean, I like banana peppers because it's got a nice hit.
I do too.
And it's not too strong, where the jalapenos can stay a little too long. And I'm like, that takes away from the Italian.
Yeah.
But I like the longer hot peppers you get out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Our boy Troy has them. But I love, when it comes to the Italian with the spicy capicola and spicy salami he has on the Troy's favorite, I love putting the Philly hot peppers on there, but also getting sweet peppers, and that just brings
with you on all of that.
everything. See,
yeah,
we finally talking about food now, Head. See,
the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, you're in a little bit of a lull in the sports schedule when we get to this stuff. So here's the other thing I did, and I brought it up, and I was chastised for it being the first time in my life, but at least to my memory, I don't remember ever, and it's weird that I wouldn't have, but I'm also a creature of habits. So
you're the Ironhead.
I like pizza in general, obviously.
Sure.
And usually I order where they have it, the works or the, you can't put too many toppings on a pizza for me. Like I like all of the meats, and I pretty much like all of the vegetables too. I'm sure there's some exceptions if you threw it out.
I'm going to throw it out there.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm going to throw out there?
Go ahead.
Anchovy.
I like the anchovies.
Really? That's the only one I can't get into.
Yeah. I mean, it's not high on my list of, boy, I got to have it.
Throw it on there, I'll get around
But
it.
if somebody gives me a pizza and it has anchovies, I'm like, okay. I'm good with that. Not my all-time favorite, for sure, but I'm fine with it. But for the first time, I think I ordered pizza with jalapenos the other night and loved it. And I got chastised. It's like, well, how could you have lived this long and not had jalapenos on your pizza? I'm like, well, we didn't put them on our pizza.
There's a lot of other options out there. That jalapeno is not really a top one.
Well, and jalapenos just aren't put on. Like, I order the ones that, the works you think is everything. Well, it's not everything. I mean, right, there's like 38 toppings, and the works at most of these places, it's like, I don't even know, 10 toppings or something. But jalapenos isn't one of them. And again, so we also have a lot of friends and especially kids that are a little more, it's like, I just want cheese or I just want pepperoni, and they don't want anything else.
Correct.
And then you get there's always the outlier that's like, well, I just like the Hawaiian. I like the ham and the pineapple. It's like, well, that's fine. I'll eat that with you, type thing. But like jalapenos just never come up. But I was ordering a pizza. I'm like, oh, this is just mine. I want to do, I don't even remember what else I put on it. I think I did pepperoni, jalapenos, and maybe mushrooms or something.
I don't see pepperoni jalapeno mixing. I don't see
it. That was not a great, that was not a well thought out. I mean, it was fine, but it was not. The jalapenos should not.
But I'll throw some stuff at you right now.
I think the sausage would be a much better go with.
You get a little ground
when it
beef
comes to the meat with
on top of there. You get a little taco sauce on top in the beef.
Yeah,
lettuce, onion, and then you throw the jalapenos on there.
Well, I haven't. Yeah, but I've done the taco pizzas and
I got my chops busted.
I like the buffalo cheesesteak pizzas too.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Those are tough to beat.
I mean, pizza in general.
Hard to go wrong with
the stromboli is the way to go with all that stuff. The cheesesteak stromboli is absolutely fantastic.
Agreed.
It's either easy to make type of thing. So, I mean, I remember getting my what's busted because I mentioned a taco hoagie. And I said, just put you have your hoagie meat, your hoagie roll, the ground beef, the taco sauce, the lettuce, the tomato, the onion, the jalapenos on a hoagie. And somebody said, that's disgusting. And I'm like, how is that disgusting? All it is a different portal than a taco. And they're like, oh, I never heard of that in my life. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. And I was like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot too. So hot hamburger, ketchup, mustard, or just one or the other.
There's a lot dumber things than that.
I thought it was a great idea. I want to read. I mean, RC Prop has had a lot of these things in college up at the dining hall in the football area.
Yeah, my burger, I like I'll go ketchup and mustard also. I like the ketchup mustard
That's the
combo with all
McDonald's. The
that.
McDonald's in it.
And I like the I like the lettuce and I like onions. And I'm probably pretty content there. I'm okay with the tomato on there. I like that, but it's not something that is necessary for me. I do like the tomato on there, but probably my perfect burger would be, and I like them well done. I get busted on all the time for that, but
it's a burger.
I like the well done.
It's a burger. I'm with you on that.
And ketchup, mustard, lettuce, and onions. Pickle. I do like pickles on
absolutely.
my burger too. Yeah, I like.
If I'm making my burger with the patties and I grill them, I'm okay with the medium to medium, good size, good medium. But if I'm at a restaurant, I don't want any kind of pink or whatever. That's just my. If I'm making it, I feel as if I can. If me or my wife are making it, I feel as if I can get away with some pink inside. But when I'm in a restaurant, I've had an issue in the past with it, so I will.
Well,
yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
But like go back to like the cheesesteaks. Like you get bacon is so good on a burger. It's like made for burgers in my opinion.
That is a good combo.
And I know I've given you pork roll at my tailgates before, but every once in a while I'll put some pork roll on top of a burger and give that little bacon taste to it and stuff like that. Oh, baby.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ooh-wee.
Pretty good stuff.
So I went away to camp last week, so I had all this extra cheesesteak meat. So we were making cheesesteak quesadillas the other night.
Oh, that's a good call.
We were making cheesesteak, the hoagies, but then we're also making strombolis. Roll them up, bake them up. You have the meats already made. You just got to figure out how to get rid of it. It's just a different portal.
Can't go wrong.
Nope.
Can't go wrong.
So
nope, I'm with you. All right, we'll take a break. We may actually talk some sports when we come back. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We're coming right back.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Your hands, busboy. Your wings suck. I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome you back in here on this Thursday. Again, we are at Quaker Steak and Lube, one final segment here on a Thursday afternoon.
Beautiful day, by the way.
It is. It's just an invigorating day here in the Valley of Happiness. You know, one of the things I want to talk about with Penn State football, too, because I'm just curious, your thoughts, Goon, on the wide receiver situation. Yep. And I'm trying to get the name of and he's not alone. There's been several folks that have expressed similar sentiments. And maybe I'm just missing it, or maybe I'm too much the glass half full guy. But the Keandre Lambert-Smith's departure is being viewed in some quarters as a nightmare scenario is what the one person is putting it. And and saying that, this is like the worst thing, that, Penn State's on the cusp of having a team that could maybe be in the playoffs and maybe even make a run. And then you get this. And again, maybe I am missing it. It would not be the first time. Maybe this person is absolutely right. But there's a couple of things in play here. And I just want to run them by you and then get your thoughts. So my viewpoint on this is, and I think Penn State in general is in a position right now with the transfer portal for the remainder of this year I'm talking about. I don't think they need anything, wide receiver included. I think they'd be foolish not to be looking and seeing if they, but it's the comparison I made, and you'll hear this on tomorrow's Keystone Sports with Jim Galani, but it's like, I think that it's like a team in the NFL draft that doesn't have a glaring need, and you're sitting there in the first round. It's like, we're just going to take the best player available. I think Penn State football is foolish if they're not looking at the portal and trying to see if they can upgrade at different positions. But I don't think there's a spot, and wide receiver for me, certainly not a spot where it's like, boy, they have to go out and bring somebody in. And there's a couple of reasons for it in my mind. So one, let's start with the production or the lack of production, especially as last season went on, by Keandre Lambert-Smith.
Correct.
And I don't know what all factored into that. I'm not trying to pile on the kid or anything like that. It may very well be the schemes, but once Yurcich left, his role was even more diminished. Yep. So, and the offense became more productive. I genuinely wonder, a lot of the national writers, and I think even a lot of the Penn State beat writers, are presuming this was Lambert-Smith saying, "Yep, I'm out of here." I wonder aloud how much of this was the coaches saying to Lambert-Smith, "Listen, we appreciate everything you've done, but maybe could we help you find somewhere else?" I really wonder how much of this was the coaches kind of nudging versus Lambert-Smith saying, I've got to get out. Well, so that's the other thing is, yes, the numbers game. Over. Yes. They had at one point here 15 receivers on the roster, and they're over by, what is this?
7, 8, or 9 scholarships.
Whatever it is now.
With the guys in the portal.
So, and receiver was the one position. Now, I understand people, but you don't want a starter. You want the, 11th and 12th guys to go. Maybe, but
you picked up Fleming
in this spot. Well, there's a couple. No, I think that's a great point. So I think Fleming was the one that they needed to get.
Yes.
Because I think it helps shore up the room, both from a talent standpoint, but even more so to me from a leadership standpoint. And I think having him and Trey Wallace in there now, if both can stay healthy, really solidifies the leadership component of it. Lambert Smith, I think, was already starting to yield way a bit to Caden Saunders and Amari Evans and Liam Clifford. And I think all of those guys,
they caught up.
They need, right. And they need to take that next big step forward and be consistent, big-time producers. At least one of them needs to do that. Obviously, you'd love to see all of them take that step forward and become integral pieces to the offense. But this does not feel to me like it is any kind of nightmare scenario or even a sense of urgency where they have to address the receiver position. I truly think they believe internally that they have what they need there. Now, again, I'm not sitting here telling you that if a top flight receiver comes knocking, Penn State just says, nope, forget about it. I don't think they do that in any position. If you can get a guy that is elite at his position and he wants to come here, you're opening the door up. And yes, we could use another linebacker. We could use another quarterback. Yes, if you get that guy that, man, this is just a great fit. But I just don't think there's a position, wide receiver included, where Penn State is, man, they've got to go out and address this or they're going to have a hole and a clear deficiency going into the season. I think there's been, my opinion, way too much made of the Lambert Smith.
First of all, he complained about his NIL money was his first thing. That was the initial thing that came out, that he complained that there was guys on the team making more money.
Yeah,
I'm sure Fleming coming in and getting a big deal like he did. And who knows what that deal is? Who knows? No one knows. You know what I mean? No one knows the exact numbers except for the players. But again, we'll go back to this. Players do talk, so he probably took the heat just the same way Kanye did on the basketball team. Cleary, when he found out other guys were making more money than he booked. So I just think that there was not enough talk about Penn State football in this spring going into the fall, into the summer, that this is all pretty much a made-up thing. Like, I saw the article. 3 people sent it to me. Like, what the hell's going on up there? I'm like, what? They lost a guy who had 1 catch the last 3 games of the year, and they had a fifth-string guy who had 9 catches in his career. Like, are we really crying about this? And it's just the shock value of what people put out there now. It's just insane. I have to say this. Did you see the kid from Albany, 25-year-old kid? He played at the University of Albany. He played for Greg Gattuso, who was a Penn State player here. Yeah. He's the head coach up there. He died of a heart attack. He was draft eligible. The headline in the NFL memes or NFL, and it's not an NFL sponsored thing. It said future NFL top draft pick dies. But it's just clickbait. And it's just like, of course you're going to read that. Penn State's in for a whirlwind right now. I mean, okay, what's going to happen in spring game was this week for Michigan. Okay, so a month from now, when their classes are over, look at how many guys are going to leave that team because they could not leave the team in December because they were playing into the second semester. So are they going to write these same, what the hell's going on in Michigan? Mass exodus at Michigan. It's just talk. Yes, you do look at the transfer portal. You're going to run on there, and the kids are going to contact you. The NCAA did come out today and say a student athlete, as long as they are eligible, can transfer as many times as they want in the transfer portal. Now, I don't know if as long as they are eligible was part of that vernacular before, because that's a big thing. You can't be leaving mid-semester. Think about that. You need to finish your classes, and maybe school's different with the online stuff now too. So he may be in State College and still taking Penn State classes. So who the heck knows? But I did see that if you are eligible, school eligible, you are allowed to transfer many times as you want. I don't know if that was new language or not. But again, listen to what I'm saying about Michigan. You watch. There's 10 guys that enter the portal when their spring is over. It's going to be complete mayhem. Oh my God, what's going on in Michigan? Harbaugh leaves. They're going to go they're under suspension. All this. It's just for people to get clicks and talk about it, in my opinion. But we went out and got Fleming. We went out and got the receiver that we need. You know, and Lambert Smith's looking at saying, okay, I'm not going to be the number one guy. I ended the season not being the number one guy last year. I'm not making enough money. Maybe I can go down to Texas A&M or LSU, the schools he's visiting. Gee, imagine that. They're the ones who are just throwing money around like it's no man's business. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and LSU just throwing money at guys right now because of their, NIL money is so high, and depending on where he goes, you watch. He's just trying to find a paycheck. But everybody has to read into it, write articles about this to get some clicks and yada, yada, yada. And here we are. We're talking about hot dogs and burgers 10 minutes ago. Now we're talking about real sports, man. Damn it.
Yep, it happens.
What is going on here, Headley?
Even in a vacuum, though, like this doesn't feel – I know he was the number one guy going into last season, and there were high expectations. But – and again, I'm not pinning it all on the kid. I don't want to come across that, he's a bum or, he's a failure or anything like that. But
you or I would never say that about an athlete at Penn State ever. In any sport.
No.
Never we would.
But he was not as productive as what people were thinking. And as they were thinking he would be. And I guess I'm genuinely not understanding why this is being perceived as even a huge loss for the program, given, again, that the results from a year ago and the overall optimism that is at least being expressed by the coaches and players alike with the receiving corps that is here and that remains. And one of the things that I think, I don't know if sports journalists are doing this now. I think sports fans have always done it. And it's one of the things that it drives me crazy with James Franklin, and we've talked about it probably too much on this show. I've probably talked about it too much. But I do think there is this idea that everything is static. And so if a player comes in and has a season that doesn't live up to expectations, that, that guy's not any good. As though he couldn't have learned, put those lessons to use, and then come back. And again, I'm thinking in particular of Omari Evans and Caden Saunders, because I really do think they both have the talent to be difference makers on this year's team. Now, you can come back at me and, Ironhead, they haven't done it. Right. I'm fully agreeing with you. They haven't done it. But because somebody hasn't done something, this is the group that also will tell you, James Franklin is never going to win a national title. He's been here how many years and he hasn't won it? Right. He hasn't. No argument there. And you can believe that he won't, but we got to see how it plays out. I don't think that's as definitive as you do. And one of the things I do think James Franklin has done a good job of and continues to do a good job of is learning and adapting and adjusting. And I think he has done that from day one. And I think you're seeing it to the degree that you can see it in the spring. We'll see how it plays out in the fall. But I do think this year's spring practice was in a very good way different than previous years. And I think more productive because of, and it's a little counterintuitive, but because of the new coordinators and the emphasis that James Franklin put on, listen, we've all got to get together and figure this out before spring practices begin of what it is we want to do, how we want to approach it, terminology, all of that stuff. And again, you heard time and time again from coaches and players alike this spring, Goon, that, man, we did communicate better. We do have a better understanding. We love what we're trying to do. And I think the individual kids feel like they understand the role that they're supposed to play.
Yes.
And that's why I think Keandre Lambert-Smith's departure was in part, and maybe it was all, I could be wrong here. I have no inside knowledge. And there's no question that the NIL was part of the equation here. I'm not sitting here telling you that he wanted to stay desperately and the coaches said, nope, we're kicking it to the curb. That I do not misunderstand what I'm saying. But I don't know that Penn State, as Keandre was saying him out the door, I don't know that anybody was trying to yank him back in.
No, don't go.
And in part because I think they believe that Evans, the receiving core as a whole is growing, but I think Evans and Saunders in particular, I think they are confident with their development. They being the coaches are confident with their development and what they can contribute, and that those are guys that can surpass from a production standpoint by a good measure what Lambert Smith provided last year in the upcoming season. Now we'll see what the numbers bear out, but I think this is a situation that will pan out for everybody. I think Lambert Smith is going to find somewhere, wherever it is, and will land on his feet and be fine. I'm not sure how productive he'll be wherever he is, and there's obviously a lot that plays into that, and it's not just the kid, and I don't think it was just Lambert Smith that's to blame for the lack of production that he had last season. Again, to be clear, I think there were a lot of things that contributed to that, but you're not losing a guy that was out there winning games for you.
Yeah.
You're not.
You heard me and Boots talking before the show, and you could tell your buddies this. I mean, the guys who were talking about, well, when was Joe's first national title? It was 22 years in.
Well, that's another.
Yes. Right. He played 18 years before he actually played for a national title in 1978. 22 years before he wins a national title. And honest to God, I'm looking at you from, a very successful college career with a lot of college teammates of mine that did very successful and were very successful while here. And I'm going to tell you, if the rules were this easy when we were here, I bet you at least 3/4 of my teammates would have been gone at one point or another. And that is the thing. It's just too easy for people to jump, and that people are looking at that thinking like it's the old school, like, oh, well, they're going to lose this guy. And they're not going to lose a guy if they really want him and they really think that he is going to make – if he wanted more NIL money and James and the coaches thought that, okay, you know what, we got to get this done. We need this guy. This guy is the absolute key to our team. It would have gotten done. I don't think that's the feel amongst the team. As you said, they weren't holding him coming back to the door like, please don't go, no, type of thing. I just think the kid's looking for a paycheck, and that's on him. It is what it is. The rules are set up that way. It is. He's playing the game. But it's just very easy for these guys to jump around, but it's also easy for a casual fan to say, what the hell's going on over there? This is insane. This is crazy. Hey, man, you're paying these players. I'm sorry. Coaches know if you're going to make it, in my opinion, within your first year and a half. Yeah, and they're going to know, and they're going to be like,
there might be rare exceptions,
exactly.
but I think generally,
I didn't start till my third and a half year, okay? But they knew I was going to grow into my position.
Yeah.
They knew I was going to be just fine when I hit that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they have a feel. I mean, this is their job. These guys they don't have these $1 million coordinator, $1 million head coaching jobs for being idiots. They know what the heck they're doing. And the media, I know what they have to do. They have to sell clicks, and they have to get readers, and they have to get, but that article I'm telling you, I got it 3 times from somebody saying, what in the hell's going on up there? Frank loses. He's not. This is just normal progression that this is the way it is now. We just need to, we can't be losing our heads over something like this, because if it really didn't want to happen, James would not have let it happen.
Yeah, and I also think, I just don't know in this day and age that coaches ever truly panic because of the transfer portal being available. Now, maybe after the portal closes and it's like, man, if you have 10 key departures and no key additions, like, I mean,
I didn't see that one coming type of thing.
But I don't think that again, in this particular situation, I don't think there's that urgency to go out and fill it. But if there was, kind of same thing, Goon. Like, I think they would go out and with the resources, Penn State, they would go out and fill it. Like they would get the big time player they think that they need. And you know, anymore. I mean, if Drew Aller entered the transfer portal, right? Like, they're going to go out and get another big time quarterback. They
Before
just
he would get in the portal, they would figure out a way to keep him.
Well,
if they would let him in the portal,
right?
That it would say, okay, well,
but I'm
we
saying,
can afford to lose
pick
him.
whatever player, whoever you think is the key, and yes, either you'll do everything, but maybe it's just nope, I'm out of here no matter what type thing. But again, then you go to plan B. Now, plan B might not be quite as good as, but there's not that great of a difference anymore between these guys. I mean, there are very few guys that are clearly, surely heads and shoulders above.
They know they have somebody coming in who's going to fill those roles. And again, the role that was severely declined as the season went on last year significantly declined as the season rolled on.
Yeah. And that's just so that, and that's why, again, I just don't understand my choice of words here, the hysteria with some, and I don't even know that it's anywhere close to a majority.
I got you.
But it is, but it's media members too.
We're talking about it.
We're
talking about it. That's what they want to be talking about, is that type of thing. They wrote an article that we're talking about on the radio right now.
But I just don't see it as anywhere near the sense of urgency. And again, I'm not sitting here guaranteeing I'm right. Maybe they're right. And Lambert Smith was a key cog to their chances for success. None of these other guys are ready or will be able to step up. And maybe the passing game is disastrous as a result in the upcoming season. I'm not sitting here guaranteeing anything. It just does not have that feel to me. And I think with the talent they have and the depth, and I get across the board, it was not a productive group last year. I guess I just have, and maybe it's too much faith. I have a lot of faith that with the system that Kotelnicki is bringing in, with the experience that Aller has, and with the development that these guys will continue to make, I think this is going to be a very productive group, the receivers as a whole.
Yep.
And I think this passing game, I don't think we'll miss a beat without Lambert Smith and some are throwing Mega in there. I mean, why you'd be throwing Mega in? And again, it is nothing against the kid, but I mean, you are not losing a player that had any meaningful impact on the field. By all accounts, let me be clear too. Yes, Mega,
dude, wonderful.
Special teams
captain,
contributor in a big way. Yes, captain, and all of that stuff, and all of that is significant. But when we're talking about production and trying to put together a team that can take that next step, Mega certainly did not feel like the guy that's going to be key there. I don't know anybody that had him as a guy that they were expecting to be a big productive player on the offense in the upcoming season. And again, Lambert Smith, yes, I had him penciled in as a starter, as I think most did, but I don't see it as a devastating loss.
If we didn't get Fleming offense in January, I'd be
then maybe it's
petrified, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because more so from the leadership standpoint, because then you're losing that veteran presence, and then it's kind of really all on Wallace because of and because of his injury history. It's like, oh man, if that's the one kind of leader that productive leader, because I think Liam Clifford is a leader on this team, but a guy that's both producing and leading, it's like, yeah, then that makes you a little more, maybe a lot more nervous. But I don't know. I feel good about where they're at with that group right now. Now they got to go out and show it. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another to think that they've solved it to a large degree. But even the most optimistic me will agree that, yeah, we got to see it before we know whether or not this is a group that, last year was a bit of an aberration, and this is a group that can go out and get things done.
Tight ends, pretty damn good this year. We got a returning quarterback,
really
pretty damn good. We got 2 damn running backs, really damn good. We got a wide receiver quarter that's pretty damn good that, we don't know. Guess who it falls back on, Jeff?
Yeah, but I tell you,
58th year in a row. This is what I liked about Troutwayne is he is growing, and he has kids that have been filling in.
The depth
we have not had that in 20 years.
The depth on that line, I do think, is a really big story for
Shelton played great
season.
football last year. Now it's on him. Now you're the big dog, boy. Come on now, baby. Let's go. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's go.
Well, and Donka, I think what I liked about the blue-white game. One of the things I liked about the blue-white game was, okay, Shelton and Donka aren't playing, so you get to see these other guys and their growth and development. And I think that group, that offensive line group, has as much depth and as much versatility as it's had in probably 20 years here, close to it, right? I mean, because now, whether or not you get the first team production that you need to be, a legit national title or Big Ten contender, we'll see. But
you just said 20 years.
I think that potential. Yeah, I think that potential is there with this group. But health is a key component, and you got to see the continued progress of the guys that have been there, right? Like Donk is a guy that you're kind of counting on, and I think is going to be what everybody thinks he's going to be, but you got to see it. You got to see, all right, we're taking that next step, and now we're dominating, or at least holding our own against great defenses, and we'll see. But I think there's a lot of versatility within that line. I agree, because I came back in 05.
And that's 19 years ago. So the 04 was the bad year. So whatever. But offensive line wise, they were building depth, and that's where they started to build from. Then you had the 08, 09 Ornberger, Shipley guys. But ever since then, we really haven't had that nasty bring in.
You've had a guy or two here or there, but not 5 guys across the line.
And then somebody going down and you're playing right tackle now, but you're playing left guard, which we can do right now with a lot of the players we've been bringing in the last few years. I'm okay of all the offensive line coaches that have come on here since the scandal, I guess you would say. I like Troutwayne has been the best. He's been here the longest, so he has had the most leash, I guess you would say, when it comes to having players. But he's going out and get his players, and he's teaching them. And I like what he's teaching them because I love the ability that guys can play multiple positions. That is the mark of a great athlete, a great football player, but also a great coach to get these guys ready to go.
Well, and we'll see. But I really think Konelnicki's offense is going to help all of those guys look better this season. I think some of the quick hitting stuff, the ability to get the ball in space to the running backs. I think it's all. I'm excited to watch. Let me just put it that way. I'm excited to see how that develops in the upcoming season.
As excited to see the wrestling this weekend?
No.
It's going to be the best wrestling I think I've ever seen in my lifetime. It really will be.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Enjoy it, Jeff. This is your...
Yep, and you are headed down to Florida, so we'll talk to you a week from Tuesday. I'll be in here this coming Tuesday, and then the Deer Booch will take over on Thursday of next week. Yes, getting you ready for the NFL draft. Have a safe trip to Florida. You enjoy the wrestling as well. And folks, you enjoy the weekend. And take care until Tuesday.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
Since retiring, I have spent my time searching the countryside for the hottest wings in America. I always seem to end up disappointed. You call these hot? Back off, Luigi.
Mamma mia.
Look, handsy busboy. Your wings suck! I knew I should have stuck with Quaker Steak's triple atomic wings. You think I'm tough enough?
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Sioka Toyota of Williamsport invites you to stop in today or check us out online. We have the smart path to your next Toyota, like the all-new Crown, BZ4X, the all-new Grand Highlander, Corolla Cross Hybrids, Sequoias, and more. Over 100 new Toyotas here and on the way. Don't make a $1,000 mistake. Choose Sioka Toyota of Williamsport and see the Sioka dealership's difference. Buy or reserve yours today and see for yourself why Sioka Toyota is the only stop you need for your next new car. Sioka Toyota, it just feels right.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.